Last week that you felt like Jake Roh was ready to fire. He had 2 important catches in the game against San Jose State. Do you feel like he's being integrated back into the passing game?
I do. Yeah, he's just getting more and more healthy, and he's more confident. He's stronger. I think that's the biggest thing. Probably, Jake had a knee issue, and you don't get to do anything for 3, 4, 5 weeks, and so I think his strength, his endurance, all that's coming back. And you saw him on a couple of the catches. They were big catches for us. Like I told you before, he was a big part of what we were trying to do offensively in the pass game. And now he's, you see he's in the run game now. He's doing everything we're asking those tight ends to do. So he's back in the mix. And Alec Danes continues to play, I think at a very high level. And Jake Knight, all those tight ends are doing a really good job of what we're asking him to do. And then having Jake back is certainly a guy where he's not only a good football player, but he's very savvy. I think he can help, with those guys when he's in the mix of just kind of lining them up and making sure that if something changes, he can adjust while he's out there. He's just got a good head on his shoulders for the game.
In the red zone this year, how pleased have you been with your production? I think that on 80% of your trips inside the red zone, you guys have scored touchdowns. So curious what you maybe credit that success to. And I know Jeremy said that yesterday when he gets near the end zone, he smells blood in the waters.
Right. Yeah, he's a shark out there. I think we've been pretty good in the red zone. We like to be. You always want to be 100%. I think we're trying to be 90, scoring every time, and that's just the standard that we put on ourselves. But I think our guys and Rasa was on point and kicked the ball extremely well. It was good to see. He'd been working really hard. He's kicked more than he's ever kicked. He's been preparing himself, and even on the kickoffs was very good. But yeah, it's just we've had some long drives. So I think when we get down there, you got to smell blood. You got to finish it, especially when you're coming from that far away. And I think the execution down there has just been better. We've taken care of the ball for the most part. I think Brett's been on point and made good decisions down there, and then we've run the ball effectively. You got to run to win, especially not just in the open field, but you got to be able to do that in the red zone. You've got to have some type of run game where you can punch it in. I think when we've been down there, we've been pretty effective inside the 15-yard line, running the ball and being able to get it in.
With the election today, I'm just curious. I know Coastal Carolina had their whole team registered to vote and is actually taking a team to go vote. Do you encourage your players to vote? Did you have any kind of talk about that leading into today?
Yeah, we did. We actually talked about it on Sunday. We talked about the game. We came in here, and then we kind of got into, a little bit of just, again, back to leadership. Talking about that. Like, what does that mean? We're going to elect a leader. How do we feel about that? And we had a couple players get up here and just talk a little bit, and it was actually pretty impressive. They were dialed in on their opinions, and it was really more about what's your opinion. Where are we going from here, and the thoughts of. Not now, but in the future. It's the same thing. I think we challenge these guys, like, what do you think? Get their opinions, not what everybody's doing, what do you think? And so it was a good conversation, kind of fun. And no, we didn't bust everybody there, but you encourage them that, hey, you have a vote in this. You have a say in where we're going. At the same time, I sent these guys a little text that I saw. It's one that's pretty good. John Gordon put it out there. It talks about the reaction, whoever that is, and just how we're going to react to it. And basically, with that was united we stand, divided we fall. I mean, either way, we're going to have a leader. It's how we support and how we go about our business, which is going to make a difference. And so just encouraging guys that way. I mean, it's whatever happens, it's still going to be about us and how we operate day to day and in America and how they can make changes. And young guys just getting the wheels turning. They're going to leave here. We got a great group of seniors that are going to be gone, and figure it out. Don't have your own opinion. All right, have a way of utilizing all that time you spent doing community service. How you're going to get involved. Don't just do it because we ask you to do it every semester. Do it because you've learned how to do it, and go make a difference. And just trying to promote guys in the leadership roles to take those steps in utilizing that in their real lives outside of football.
One of the aspects of this team that you talked about outside of football was in fall camp and stuff was the nutrition aspect, and you guys have talked about that a lot more this year. It seems like, why was that so important, and how important is that? It's one of those things that I guess people don't always talk about, but for you guys, it's a pretty big focus.
It's huge. I think they do. I think they talk about it a whole lot more now. If everybody's lifting, everybody's running, everybody's doing the same thing. All right, your program might be different. You might do a little more stretching, or not lift as heavy, whatever that is. But everybody's doing the same exact thing. So how do you get the advantage? It's how you eat. It's how you fuel your body. It's how you sleep. And here's the thing. These guys, they come in here and they have 4 years here, and then all of a sudden they're good enough to be looked at by the NFL. Then they go to some facility and they all come back and go, man, I'm eating right. I'm eating 6 meals a day. I'm eating this and that. And you're like, it's the exact same thing we talked about. Like, why didn't you do it when you were a freshman? And so just think about if these guys did it when they were freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors, they've already got that pattern. They're good enough to play at the next level. They're already built and ready to go. They're just going to go show up at a training facility and just attack it specifically for whatever drills they're doing and be even better at it. They're not going to sit there and figure out they got to eat 6 meals a day or what nutrition is. To me, that's just, we've talked about that a long time ago. We talked about you can't outwork a bad diet. All right? I think everybody in here would agree with that, right? You can't outwork a bad diet. You go work out and you go eat a bunch of crap, and what really are you doing? And it says right in our weight room, you can't outwork a bad diet. It says right there. So you got to eat right, and I think these guys, for the most part, they're college kids. They're going to go grab a burger? Yes. Do they love pizza? Absolutely. Do we give that to them? Yes. All right. We don't just take away all the stuff that we all enjoy. We just got to do it in moderation. And then when they're really hitting it hard, especially this time of year, rest, nutrition, hydration. That keeps you from, people talk about teams being tired and all that. I don't buy into that. I think if you're taking care of your bodies, you can get stronger while others are getting weaker. And that goes back to nutrition and just being focused on it. And the only way to do it is talking about it.
Special teams have kind of sputtered along at times this year. But in the last game, you had a nice kickoff return, made a field goal. Your coverage was good. What was the difference?
Well, you're absolutely right. One thing we made a difference of is on kickoff return or any return game, give the returners a chance. I don't think we've given those guys a chance. We talk about, our returners quite a bit. We think they're special. We think those guys can make something happen. But we had too many free hitters. That's one thing. And that all starts with, we talk about returners. I mean, really, you have no shot if the guys in front of you don't block. So block your guy. Simple as that. I mean, and really do it. Let's not talk about it. Let's not worry about what the scheme. Just block your guy you're supposed to block. And that I think we won the field position battle, in this game too. So, Sean with the big play, obviously that was huge, but we got better field position. We got better returns. We didn't have as many drives that we had to, start from our own 5-yard line, and a lot of that has to do with special teams. I thought the returners in the punt returners did a good job. Said made good decisions. We kind of faked and waved a few off, and you let one bounce out there, and we had better position. Anything when you're not doing, you obviously go back, you have your focus early on, but you keep focusing on it, and you keep hitting those same points, and at some point it's going to happen. And so we were better. I hope it carries over this week, because we'll make the same emphasis in special teams.
About some of the other phases on the offensive and defensive side.
Yeah.
What do you want to see carry over from the San Jose State game?
Well, I think being able to run the football like we did on the offensive side and do it consistently, taking care of the football. I thought we were efficient at quarterback. We ran the ball effectively, and we put ourselves in a lot more manageable third downs than we had in the past few games. Defensively, it still comes back to you got to stop the run. When they run the ball, you got to stop it. And then, we've got to do a great job of when the quarterback does scramble, we've got to plaster and cover. And it comes down to eyes. You have a man, you have a responsibility. You have to cover him. And so we've got to continue to do a better job of that, because you're trying to do two things. You're going to play the quarterback or play your man. And we've gotten caught up between that a little bit. So that's been another point of emphasis on the defensive side is coverage. And when they do scramble. And really, you've got to get to them at the D-line. That way you don't allow that guy to get out of the pocket. But